Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Thank you for joining us in this webinar. And as you all know, we have a very interesting topic for us to discuss. But I do see a few people joining in. So if you all don't mind, I'm going to take another 2 or 3 minutes so that people can settle in. Okay, guys, let's start. Once again, a very warm welcome to everyone. And as I said, we have a very interesting topic for all of us to discuss. That is 4G, 5G security trends, and more importantly, adaptive bypass techniques. As we all know, cyber attackers are getting smarter and more hackier by the day. And with those comes adaptive bypass techniques. But I'm not a very much of a technical person, so I guess I'm going to leave it to Sergey Puzenko and Nikita Kalnikov to walk you through all the details. But before I hand over the stage to them, a few things, if I may walk you through the webinar to make it more seamless, to make it more interesting. So through the webinar, if you have any kind of query, if you may come across any kind of technical hitch or a glitch, please do not be hesitant and reach out to me either in the chat section or by the raise of hand. I am at your disposal. I'm there to help you. And I'm Sonali, your host for the day. Another thing to remember before we kick off this webinar is there is a reserved 15 to 20 minute slot at the end of webinar session where we are going to address question and answers from you audience. But one thing that I would urge you from the bottom of my heart is if you all have any questions during the course of this presentation, please do not hesitate and honestly, please put those questions in a Q&A plan. Now, what will happen because of this? We'll have more time to address more questions and our experts can help you with answers and redress to more of your queries. So with this, before I call on my expert team, a minute of what is the topic like, which I already talked about. And we have today Sergey Puzenko, who's our product delivery manager, assisted by Nikita Kalmiko, who's our telecom security specialist. And before the magic starts, we also have our special guest for today, Amna Aman. Now, Amna is very new in Security Gen team. I believe, Amna, you just started this week, and she's already here to help us make this webinar more interesting and more engaging. So she's going to play the role of a Q&A expert. She's going to be asking questions and requesting the expert technical team to help her with some kind of additional inputs and clarification through the course of this webinar. By this, we will have more inputs. By this, we will have more insights. So without much ado, guys, without any more wait, I will call on Sergey Puzenko. Sergey, the stage is all yours.
Okay, thank you, Sonali. Guys, first of all, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Sergey Puzenkov. I work at Security Gen as product delivery manager. I'm in telecom security area from 2013, and my first security research was connected with SS7 protocols. Later, I contributed results of my research to non-commercial organizations such as GSMA and the XUDT, and also presented it on different security conferences as a speaker.
Hi everyone, my name is Nikita Kalmikov. I have more than 4 years in telecom security. I'm currently a postgraduate student in telecom cybersecurity field. I'm deep dive into SS7 and SIM vulnerabilities, conducting telecom security assessments on different protocols, SS7, GTP, diameter, and on SIM cards for many years.
Okay, and hi everyone. I'm Amna, and I'm the new associate PM for Security Gen. I have 11 years of analyst experiences in technology and also telco industry. In fact, today is my first day at Security Gen, and I'm lucky to have the opportunity to ask our experts some question directly. So be ready, Sergey and Nikita. Over to you, Sergey.
Okay, thank you. So let's start. And I will start with main mentioning of the reports of top security vendors, because recently they publish their reports about threat landscape and what we can see. So first of all, these vendors work on enterprise security, and their reports do not speak about the same. Some of them speak that the main threat is all vulnerabilities. Some of them said that the main threat is malware, or someone says that the main threat is social engineering and phishing. So we work in a little bit different area, that is telecom security, but all telecom operators are also big enterprises, but they have their own unique telecom infrastructure that also needs protection and needs security. There are some companies, organizations that also publish security landscape for telecom. These are GSMA, ENISA, Kaleido Intelligence, and some other else. And today, I would like to focus on one of the research from Kaleido Intelligence. We borrowed their report that calls future-proofing roaming security, and we just want to present it for review and maybe enrich with our own data. So this report is a survey of 64 global mobile network operators, and I would like to focus on this particular diagram from the report. So what it says. So 71% of the respondents of the operators in this survey said that they have GTP firewall installed on their networks. It looks good because GTP protocol is used for all currently used generations of mobile networks, such as 2G and 3G packet data, and 4G and 5G with non-standalone architecture. Then 54% of the operators, of the requested operators, said that they have SS7 firewall installed on their network. SS7 protocols are responsible for 2G and 3G voice communications and SMS messages. Since SS7 security is in the focus of security companies for about 10 years, so 54% of the installed SS7 firewalls is quite good number. The next one, 42% of the operators said that they have SIP firewall installed on their networks. And we see that SIP protocols in mobile operators is used for voice over LTE, voice over Wi-Fi technologies, and also for interconnect with other operators to provide voice services. And the last one, only 33% of the mobile operators said that they have diameter firewall on their network. So diameter processes such networks as 4G and 5G with non-standalone architecture.
Hey, Sergey, if I may interrupt,
Yes.
This is a very interesting, this is a very interesting statistic that you are showing to us here. but only 33% claim that they have installed diameter firewall. But how come so few on diameter firewalls, and why GTP firewalls are so much more common in your opinion?
Yeah, thank you, Amna. That's an interesting question, but let me discover the next slides, and I will answer this question just in a couple minutes.
Sure, thank you.
So I already said about enrich of this data, and what's the source for enrichment. This is our own data that we get from our telecom security assessments. Telecom security assessment, this is some kind of external penetration testing with telecom specific. During these assessments, during this penetration testing, we check compliance of the mobile operator with security standards. And also we check if the mobile operator is protected with some tools and how these protection tools are effective. During the last 12 months, we conducted about 120 telecom security assessments on different domains of mobile operators, such as signaling, radio access system, virtualized infrastructure, and so on. So the outcome of each telecom security assessment is the report with some performance indicator. And one of the indicator is protection level. That is a percentage of secured test cases or just compliance with security standards. And now let's come back to the statistics. I would remind that 71% said that they have firewall, GTP firewall, and 33% said that they have diameter firewall on their networks. And what do we see on these protocols, on the security of these protocols? So first of all, diameter. We can see that almost all networks have high and medium protection level on this protocol. And what about GTP? On GTP, we can see just absolutely different picture. More than 70% of the networks have low and critical protection level. So it looks...
Sergey, so the fact that 71% of respondents have a GTP firewall, but over 50% of them still facing low and critical security protection, right? So in your expert opinion, why do you think this happened?
Okay, let's sort out with this situation. And let me show one more diagram with this statistics phenomena. This diagram, again, it shows some data from Kaleidos report. They are in blue bars, 71% of the GTP firewall installations and 33% of diameter firewall installations. The green bars is the average protection level on each protocol received from our security assessment. And as we can see, the situation is disbalanced, very strange. And let's think why it may happen. So first of all, we should say that data input are different. So we have different data samplings for our research. Let's look deeper on GTP. Why we can see that these strange situation that the number of firewall installations is big, but protection level is quite low. We think that this is, first of all, due to misunderstanding of security teams in the mobile operator, what GTP firewall is. What we can see sometimes that mobile operator install the typical IP firewall on the GTP interface. So it is possible because GTP protocol works on the IP stack. And for sure, this we cannot call it GTP security because this kind of firewalls for sure can filter out some odd requests, for example, for scanning open SSH, telnet, and so on. And these firewalls can filter out incoming traffic by IP addresses. But if a real intruder is trying to do something on the GTP protocol from the allowed source, for sure, this kind of attack will be successful. And this kind of firewall cannot help this mobile operator. Also, we assume that in many cases, GTP firewall is not configured properly or just not integrated normally into the network. And what about diameter? Here we can see absolutely different picture, a few number of diameter firewall installations and quite good protection level. Now we think that implementation of the base security control is available on the border equipment such as DEA and DRA. DEA is diameter edge agent, DRA diameter roaming agent. So that's why we can see network level protection as medium and high. Also, this good protection level may be connected with roaming applications that are applied on some of operators. And these applications can help with security, means maybe indirectly, but help. This application means that the subscriber, any subscriber, when he or she is going to go somewhere abroad to the roaming operator, they need to explicitly inform their mobile operator about this trip, and they will have roaming service. So despite the fact that our data contradict with collated data, we cannot say that somebody is wrong. Just we all, and our company and myself as well, look like people with closed eyes who touch the elephant. And everyone who touch some part feels different. So the same in security. Every security company research in their area and investigate in their area and can see only some specific part of total security. And now I think there is a question from the mobile operators and especially from the security teams of the mobile operator. Is benchmarking and being on the top of benchmarking and being highly compliant to security standards, does it lead to good security of the good real security of the mobile operator? For sure, if some intruder is trying to hack this type of the network that is normally or well protected, and the first attempts are unsuccessful. These intruders can switch their attention or their focus on maybe easier victim or maybe less protected mobile operator. But if the intruder needs your particular network or needs getting information about subscribers of your network, these kind of some of intruders, especially mature intruders, will find the way to bypass existing security means and reach their goals. So, and now how it happens, over to Nikita. He will tell you about some of the real bypass techniques.
Thank you, Sergey. When we talk about the current situation in mobile network protection, we should not forget that there is a constant confrontation between attackers and security vendors. As of today, it's not enough to use only STP, SMS home router, or any other legacy protection to protect whole network. A modern telecom security needs a comprehensive approach, which can be provided with these tools only together with the firewall. From intruder's point of view, the main goal is to bypass protection mechanisms and deliver message to the destination node, to the SS7 network, for example. In constant attempts to bypass firewall, attackers evolve in their technique, and security measures improve as well. During our audits, we always grow in our expertise in SS7 too, because it's still a very significant attack field for hackers. And the result of our research, we are ready to present you something new.
I see. So, Nikita,
Yes.
may I ask, may I know what are the usual consequences, and what does the threats look like, and what happens when these threats are getting real?
Great question. Let me tell a bit about what is the bypass. Bypass technique is a thing which is needed for hacker only to go through the firewall or protection means to the network. If he able to deliver some message to the legacy SS7 infrastructure, for example, he may exploit all vulnerabilities, including SMS interception, location obtaining, IMSI obtaining, and all type of denial of service attacks. And really a lot of different threats are possible to exploit. That's why they focus also on bypass techniques. And we going to tell you about two of new bypass techniques. Am I answered?
Yes, thank you.
Great. So today we are going to tell you about two new bypass techniques on SS7 networks that we discovered recently, which probably already used by attackers. First one is very at length for the XUDT message segmentation. But first of all, let's talk a bit about what the bypass technique. Why attackers need bypass methods? SS7 networks have been under attack by intruders for quite some time, during which the protection means have evolved, and in order to exploit SS7 vulnerabilities, of which there are many, attackers always need to get the message to the destination node through the protection means. In order to bypass security measures, hackers began using variety of bypass techniques, using various protocol features to force firewall to allow the message to pass into the network. One such technique is use of XUDT message segmentation mechanism. A few words about the history of XUDT bypass method. XUDT, it's extended unit data on a CCP layer on SS7 stack. XUDT, it's a way of segmentation a message, so there more information can be transmitted if the payload doesn't fit with the maximum message size of the TCAP layer. The XUDT mechanisms involves multiple segments, each containing headers and some fragments length. Then message will be reassembled and processed at the destination node. So the main idea is message payload splitting. And because security tools were originally designed to detect a complete message containing all data, segmentation allows in some cases to bypass the checks and deliver the message to the destination node. For standard SSCP message type UDT, all components placed in one packet, a single packet, and the protection measures expected to be analyzed in one piece and decide is it legitimate or not. Whereas a message split into segments, the packets received by protection means may not contain enough information to detect an attack and will be allowed into the network. For example, the component portion in SSCP UDT contains both opcode and parameters of message. But if in XUDT the data will be separated into different segments, firewall have not enough information to full analyze the whole message, which is split. This vulnerability was discovered around 2018. Since then, many networks have installed firewalls that started to contain appropriate signatures to secure against this XUDT bypass. However, in 2023, we found some evolution of this attack. The next stage in the attacker's adaptation to the protection measures. The essence of the updated bypass technique is that the segment length is changed. This allows intruder to bypass the network protection. Let me show you a small example. For the standard SSCP XUDT bypass message, the message split into 3 segments with arbitrary length. This attack might be blocked by firewall currently. Let's see how it looks like in real traffic. In this case, the network responds with a TCAP end. We assume this is the response from firewall. There are 3 segments in the message. Wireshark highlighted them in blue and automatically reassembled them in a single unit. The attack failed. And how this evolution of the technique looks like? Only the length of the segments has changed, and the distribution of data in each of them has changed. Now the message contains 2 segments, and firewall cannot decide legitimate or not, letting it further into the network. And it might be processed by destination node. In this example, this is HLR. Let's see again in the real traffic. The same message, but only length of the segments has changed. Wireshark again reassembles this message and highlight in blue. So we can see reply from the destination node. That means attack is successful. I would like to highlight that we believe that this evolution of bypass methodology depends on how the firewall rule is created. Since the picture differs from vendor to vendor, at somewhere this technique fails. This is the second and probably more significant bypass technique. We have discovered the possibility of exploiting this vulnerability on a large selection of networks, and now we are able to announce it as one of the important and regular ones. Below, I will tell you the main point. We covered all this in more detail in our threat intelligence report in December 2023. If anyone hasn't seen this report, drop us a line in chat and we will share it with you for sure. In SS7 message, there is 2 different values. Sequence tag and set tag can be used to describe attack or some data header. However, in real traffic, we see only sequence tag is used. So by manipulating this header parameters and replacing sequence with set, this is literally 1 bit. An attacker can make the message unrecognizable to a number of security mechanisms. As the result, the data that follows the set tag is invisible to the firewall. This causes the firewall to let the message pass through further into the network, because an unrecognized message is not malicious by default. It could be, for example, some vendor-specific implementation of the field. And in order to not disrupt services, firewall policies often include the rule. So in an unrecognized message, then allow it. Here is how it happened. An attacker in a signaling message, for example, provide subscriber info, changes the value of the parameter tag from the usual sequence to set. I mentioned before, this is only 1 bit. The message is sent to the firewall. The firewall cannot recognize the tag and cannot fully analyze the message. As I said earlier, it's better to let the message pass, and the message reaches the destination node successfully. In this example, this is VLR, visited locate register. Then VLR responds with requested information. In this example, this is cell identity of the nearest base station to the subscriber. As you can see on the real traffic, this is a screenshot from one of our latest telecommunication security assessments. That's PSI, the same message, with the response from addressing node after successful bypass of firewall. Wireshark not able to parse it fully, that's why we marked start of map part and highlighted set tag bytes. As the result of this attack, the intruder received the closest base station location, so the mostly location of the subscriber at the moment. So this is the usage of new bypass technique in the field.
All right, so Nikita, I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Based on what you have shown, like why are we still focusing on SS7 bypass? Aren't we supposed to focus more on 4G or 5G network security?
Got it. It's an interesting question. The point is that mobile network security is an ongoing process, and we need to make sure that all legacy protocol is secure. After all, if we focus only on the latest vulnerabilities, for example, in 5G or 4G latest threats, then attackers will evolve in every possible way, including SS7. Even new 5G networks need to have a contact with older generations, for example, in order to roam on normal interconnect between the networks. In the case, telecom operators should not forget to protect their networks with older protocols as well, because intruder may come where is ice the thinner.
I see. Right. Thank you for answering my question.
Sure. The word and microphone over to Sergey.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nikita, for this deep explanation of the bypass techniques. Please let me again come back to our statistics and ask the question. But why security has this gap that allows intruders to hack the networks? So there are many reasons and many causes of this, but we can see that top 3 of them are misconfiguration of the equipment, a lack of security controls, and incomplete cybersecurity process. And let's talk about it in some details. What we can see in misconfiguration. First of all, this is lack of hardening. Now, we often can see that hardening may be not ignored by security teams, but maybe not done very well. So that's why networks has a lot of vulnerabilities due to it. Or also we can see that configuration of the network element is not also not configured with security standards. And sometimes we can see that after the software upgrade of the network, some nodes, the security issues may be changed to default values, to default parameters. And one more thing, that signaling firewall system may be too complex for understanding. And these are some examples. For example, if border equipment such as STP or DEA has misconfiguration in the routing. For sure, intruder can use this misconfiguration thin feature and do some tricks to bypass internal communication, not touching the firewall. So the request goes bypassing the firewall just to the destination equipment. Or example with firewall rules, firewall complex system. It might be a very, very long access list, or it might be just a very complex constructor of the firewall rule that contains many not needed flags, not needed parameters for each. Or sometimes we can see that equipment, firewall equipment, has its own language for rule creation, and this language and especially not maybe not language, but the system of this language is too complex. It contains many sections, subsections included, and when security team operates with this kind of firewalls, they just miss information, maybe miss some rules, and firewalls are out of control. So if we speak about a lack of security controls, first of all, we can say about this balance of security on different domains. What does it mean? For example, radio security on radio became very good on the third generation, and now it goes or become better and better. But we do not see this on the core from generation to generation. Sometimes they still have the same structure of vulnerabilities. Or just one of examples, we can see bad protection on the OSS and BSS system. This is the system of management of the equipment. Comparing with web resources of the mobile operator that are usually well protected. OSS and BSS systems sometimes contain default passwords, or maybe some weak passwords, or something else. The same we can see in systems of virtuality. In many cases, mobile or security teams remain default passwords, set up passwords from dictionary that are easy to brute force. Sometimes we can see forgotten accounts, odd accounts, and so on. And one more thing is not implemented encryption when it is needed. In 2G and 3G generations, communications, signaling communications on the core was done without any encryption by the standard. It was in plain text. For 4G, it was recommended to use IPsec protocol. But what we see in our security audits, security assessments, that very rare mobile operator use this functionality of the encryption of the signaling. And moreover, 5G networks are recommended to use TLS to encrypt all communications, signaling communications within the network. But still, and I mean 5G with standalone architecture. But still, we see that, again, there are no mobile operators, maybe not no, but again, there are not very many who use this kind of protection measures. Maybe this is connected with the fact that 5G networks just started, and maybe not so many especially big 5G networks. Maybe later with mass implementations of 5G security will be better. Let's see what happens. And one more thing is incomplete cybersecurity process. This can lead to many bad things in mobile operators. For example, they can have lack of information about vulnerabilities, or just firewall bypass attacks will be not observed and not detected. Low visibility on the currently attacks, bad coordination between teams within mobile network operator. But when we see it, this cybersecurity process, it's good mapped on the NIST cybersecurity framework. For example, for identification of the vulnerabilities or potential vulnerabilities, mobile operator needs to do vulnerability management or provide security audits of their network, just to protect the network. Mobile operator need to use strong encryption, maybe install firewall if it is not exist, or do network hardening. Then, since as I said just at the beginning, all mobile operators are big enterprises, first of all, and then they have telecom infrastructure. And if it is big enterprises, security teams usually know how to detect attacks. I mean the procedure of attack detection. They have usually security operation center, but these security operation centers for sure should be updated with security monitoring specific with specifics of the telecom infrastructure. But when incident happens, for sure this is not responsibility of some one team within the operator. So the teams should work cooperatively each other. They should share information. They should share responsibility. For example, teams that are responsible for technology should do something, maybe network hardening and so on. Teams that are responsible for communication with other operator should inform the operator that is the source of the happens incident, and so on. And finally, when mobile operator responded on the happened intrusion, the mobile operator should learn the lesson from this event. They need to find the way what they need to do to avoid this situation in future. And the incident investigation can for sure can help with this. And to conclude our presentation today, what we can tell you. So first of all, that benchmarking and compliance are good, especially if your network is on the top of benchmarking and highly compliant with standards. But still, this is not enough and not sufficient to to protect the network. If you are a good team member of security and you read many reports of the industry, that's good. This is very good for general education to understand general security trends on the industry. But security posture of your particular network is unique, is always unique. It maybe really be in contradiction with some of the reports. So to know the posture, you should research your own network, not from the reports, but from the reality. And the actions and tools that is needed for security depends on specific situations of your network and the particular time, particular place. Because it might be different things. Maybe your network just needed audit to understand your real vulnerabilities. Maybe you need just to train personnel additionally. For example, for internal cooperation between different teams within your company. Maybe you just need a consultancy of some external company or just personal consultant. Or you need installation of the tools such as firewall, for example, or tools for the encryption of the traffic. So basically, that's all we wanted to tell you today. And now, please, your questions.
All right. Thank you very much, Sergey. Thank you, Nikita. Thank you, Amna. You all played a fantastic roles in your presentation. And thank you, audience, for being patient with us. And I already see questions in the panel, which I have pulled up. And Sergey, Nikita, I'm going to address those questions to you. We have about 15 minutes. We will try and tackle as many as we can. So Sergey, the first question, if I can read out to you, or your part of the presentation is, how is security status of GTP and diameter related to 5G?
Yeah, thank you for this question. As I previously said, diameter and GTP firewalls are related to 5G networks with non-standalone architecture. Non-standalone architecture means that the network invests in 5G radio part, but the core remains from 4G network that just works with diameter and GTP protocols.
Okay. Sergey, thank you for that answer. Nikita, the next one is for you. All right. You covered some bypass techniques for SS7. Does something similar exist for GTP, PFCP, diameter, etc.?
Yeah, nice question, because mainly we focus talking about bypass techniques, we talking about SS7, but in different protocols, there is only similar features like diameter. There is a few specific things which we check during our telecommunication security. So yeah, it might be also named as bypass techniques.
Okay. Thank you, Nikita. All right, let me pick up the next one. Sergey, one which is pertaining to your part of the presentation again. It's not clear what is the source of data you base your conclusions on. Do you also interview MNOs or do you actually verify the networks?
Thank you for this question. Please let me clarify. So our data received from our external penetration testing of the telecom networks. And when we do these exercises, we see how the network is really protected from the real external intruder point of view. And for sure, when we do this kind of assessment, we are in touch with security teams of the mobile operator, with the different people of the mobile operator. And during the conversation, for sure, we can get more information about security, about how security tools are used. So this is from our services.
Thank you, Sergey. Nikita, one more has come up for your part of the presentation. How visible are these bypass techniques? Can MNOs detect such behavior in their networks?
Look, here is only one way to mitigate all the almost new bypass techniques and old bypass techniques, only using your own experience to test your own network as an operator, or order some external audit which cover all the new bypass techniques, all the new stuff, with some circle while testing, then improvement of the network, and then retesting. Only this way can guarantee everything in the network will be secure.
Perfect, Nikita. Sergey, one more for you now. What about 5G security features like SEPP? It was not included in the statistics. Any particular reason for that, Sergey?
Yes, sure. So as I previously said, we are based on the data that are received from external penetration testing. But now we do not see many 5G networks that have roaming. For example, the first real standalone 5G roaming was run in previous year between, if I'm not mistaken, between Germany and Qatar. That was the first one. So there are not very many networks with 5G roaming, first of all. So that's why they are just not in focus of our daily job so far. I hope it will be in the nearest future.
Okay. Okay, Sergey, there's one more for you. You mentioned the NIST framework in the latter part of your presentation. Is it actually for network security? Is it applicable for telecoms? Could you please clarify this?
Yes, sure. This is actual for network security, and this is applicable for telecoms because, again, as was said at the very beginning of this presentation, all telecoms are the same big enterprises, but they have their specifics in the telecom infrastructure. But all measures, all approach for security are the same. So that's why NIST framework is applicable for telecom as well.
Okay, thank you. There's one more question, guys. I really don't know whom between the two of you all would be a better judge to handle this, so you all decide for yourself. The question goes, how would you rate the implementation of SS7 firewalls in the Asia-APAC region now, given that many 3G services are being shut down in this region? Sergey, Nikita, who would want to handle this question, which has just come up in the screen for me?
Yeah, I can say only that last year we have a lot of SS7 testing in the region, and so they continue implement the SS7 firewalls because not all the networks shut down currently, and the operators have to protect them, still have to protect them until the networks goes to shut down. But there is 3G services might be erased from the network, but still some regions need to be covered by 2G, and the 7 vulnerabilities are also applicable to for 2G too. Hope I answered.
From my side, I can maybe add something to this answer. Because I work in product delivery, and we see continuous interest in SS7 security, and especially in tools for protection networks on the SS7 protocols, and in Asia and APAC region as well.
All right. Thank you very much. There's one more. Nikita, I think this is better for you. And the question is, what are the key advantages of GTP bypass techniques and what challenges do they present?
Great question, but yeah, in GTP, there is nothing special which we can say this is bypass technique. There is a few features which you can mitigate using firewall, but there is no effective tools for now to bypass these features, only spoofing and all the IP stuff which can be used to somehow deliver the GTP traffic.
All right. There's a little addition to this question. Is GTP over IPsec consider a threat as well? Nikita, would you handle this?
Yes,
yeah, Nikita, please, if you can answer.
Sorry?
Do you want me to repeat the question?
I'm not working with IPsec combined with GTP. Maybe Sergey knows the special answer.
No, I do not have the answer to this question right now. Let us maybe talk with our colleagues and to find the correct answer.
All right, no problem. What we'll do is we'll revert to this answer to our audience via email, because we have the email IDs, and we are going to soon publish a recording of this webinar as well. But yes, these were the questions for us. Sergey, Nikita, thank you once again. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us, being actively participating and making this webinar all the more interesting and engaging. And we really hope that you found something insightful for yourself. And stay tuned, because we are going to send you a copy of this webinar, maybe by tomorrow morning latest. And we have many more interesting sessions coming up in the months to come. So see you there. Thank you once again. And Amna, thank you. A special thanks goes out to you for making this all the more exciting.
Thank you, Sonali. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, everyone, for attention, for your questions.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Take care.